camping season.
So he, not that many people knew when he went in that he was. It doesn't matter what you say, you always go.
It's a 2-hour drive from home to Sampson. Thankfully we got there without an issue, and the dogs did great on the car ride. So Sampson State Park actually originated as a naval training base in the 1940s. While it stopped being a training base in the 1950s, there is still a military museum on the property. The main office also operates as the camp store. There's a little library section where you can rent books, shirts and merchandise that you can purchase. We of course bought a sticker, and a check-in desk. There are 5 camping loops at Sampson State Park, as well as a line of cabins that you can rent for the week. Loop 5 is the one closest to the water. We are staying though in Loop 2, a loop that we have stayed in the past. In 2025, Sampson updated their dump and fill stations. There are now 4 separate lanes where you can dump your black and gray tanks and potable water to fill your fresh tanks. This is much improved from the old system. Though this is our first trip of the year, this is our 6th year camping, at least with this camper. And at this point, me and Molly have a pretty good system in place for getting ready. Typically, I work on the outside, while Molly works on the inside. We keep a cheat sheet ready, with step-by-step instructions nearby, but at this point, we're pretty good. We just use it for a reference. We're here. It is May 15th, 2026. It is our first camping trip of the year. We are at Sampson State Park, and we are actually in one of our favorite sites. We were at this site about
3 years?
Yeah, about 3 years ago. And when we were in this site, we decided we really enjoyed it, and we are very happy that it was here again. It's a very spacious site.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on the corner, pretty wide. We like those kind of sites. It allows us to, move around a lot more with the dogs. But we're finally here. And Molly, what are you looking forward to most this week?
Probably wine tasting.
Yeah, we are in the Finger Lakes, so
And
we are
some
in
hiking.
we are in the Finger Lakes. We're in the heart of wine country, and obviously this is the Finger Lakes National Forest, so we're definitely going to get a lot of that stuff in. Very excited for it. But right now, we're going to do one of my favorite things: post setup beers. We walked the dogs down to Loop 5. That's the loop that's closest to the water. There's a few waterfront sites there that we've always wanted to get. Unfortunately, you have to book those sites about 9 months out, as they are almost impossible to snag. We also walked by the lakefront cottages. These were only installed a few years ago, and we've explored them, but we have the camper, so we don't need them. From there, we walked over a man-made bridge to Seneca Lake Resorts. We'd heard that there was live music on Friday nights, and we wanted to scope it out. Once we had confirmed that there was in fact live music, we decided to walk back to our site, grab the truck, and head over. So we are staying at Sampson State Park, which is about halfway down Seneca Lake, and it's between Seneca and Cideries Lake, out in Finger Lakes. But what's kind of interesting about this park is that it's actually attached to a private campground. It's Seneca Lake Resorts, and every Friday night they do live music. So we're just hanging out here with the doggos. We got ourselves on a nice little blanket, and we're just enjoying some live music and some nice festivities. Dogs got me up pretty early, which is par for the course when we camp. And I do have to say, it's still a little early in the year, and I guess we're pretty lucky. Our site is actually very dry, and we're walking through a lot of the other sites, and there's either a lot of muddy spots or ruts, and also a lot of uncut grass. So I guess I'm going to say we're pretty lucky. After breakfast, we walked the dogs back over to Seneca Lake Resorts. Something relatively new, they actually have 2 dog parks, a large and a small dog area. We were able to get the dogs inside and play a little fetch with Sugar. We've learned that it's best, especially if we're going on a car ride that day, to get a little bit of energy out of her. We even got Ruth to run around and have a little fun as well. The dog park is one of 2 relatively new additions to Seneca Lake Resorts, the other one being this massive putt-putt course. Sadly, we didn't get a chance to play, but it's definitely fun to see all the new developments happening in the area. After that, we decided to walk the loops at Seneca Lake Resorts. The sites here seemed a bit smaller, and they seem to be seasonal sites, unlike at Sampson. Now, our camper is a 2020 Springdale 220 RD. We bought it brand new off the lot back in 2020. The 220 means that it is 22 feet long, and the RD stands for rear dinette. Now, ironically, we are planning on either upgrading or moving on from this camper after this year, but we absolutely loved it. One of the biggest things, as you can see here, being those rear windows. Once you walk inside, there's a full camper queen size bed at the front. Bathroom access, very easy to get to from the door of the camper. We like that because it means we don't really track in a lot of mud anytime we have to go in and use the facilities. The shower, I'm able to stand in it. My head actually goes into that little sun window, but it works. Other than that, it's a pretty basic camper. Kitchen over here on the left, large fridge over here on the right, and the part that we fell in love with, this rear dinette and couch combo with those windows letting in all the natural light.
It's also like, imagine the people in there who are like, wait, what? I'm gonna go tomorrow.
So when it comes to camping, me and Molly fall into typically 2 categories. Primarily, we are what's called weekenders. And those are individuals who camp primarily from like Friday to Sunday or Friday to Monday. And the other category we fall into is that we are destination campers. And that is because while we do enjoy, our campsites and having a bonfire at those, especially at night or maybe a morning bonfire, we aren't typically people who spend the entire day at the campsite, and we like to kind of explore the area.
So today we're at our first stop, which is Fleur-de-Lis Brewers. They are fully dog friendly, inside and out. They have a lot of open space, picnic tables, and just areas to walk around. And they also have a disc golf course, which is on U-Disc. So Ben's gonna go play around the disc golf, and the dogs and I are gonna hang out and drink beer and read a book.
Cheers.
Au beau Paris, où l'amour s'écrit, sous les ponts les cœurs se réunissent. Et la lumière éclaire nos vies, dans tes bras on oublie nos soucis. Au beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou.
No, leave the spicy bee alone.
Au beau Paris, où l'amour s'écrit, sous les ponts les cœurs se réunissent.
I'm a little rusty with the disc golf.
Éclaire nos vies, dans tes bras on oublie nos soucis. Au beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Au beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Au beau Paris, où l'amour s'écrit, sous les ponts les cœurs se réunissent. Et la lumière éclaire nos vies, dans tes bras on oublie nos soucis. Au beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Au beau Paris,
Boom.
Here we are at Black Duck Cidery. This cidery is a small family-owned cidery that also does U-Pick. The outside is dog friendly, but the inside has cats, so no dogs allowed. They also have a small cottage on Airbnb. We stayed for a tasting, but didn't linger long, and we're on our way to the next stop. After Black Duck Cidery, we made our way to one of our favorite places in the region, Boundary Breaks Vineyard. In order to get to this winery, you have to drive down a long gravel road that seemingly leads to nowhere. However, it leads to a beautiful winery with beautiful views. This winery is dog friendly inside and out and has a dog park. We stopped for a tasting, some snacks, and planned to have a glass of wine outside. However, Mother Nature had other plans for us.
Radar said we weren't getting any rain today. Unfortunately, we got a little bit of rain at Boundary Breaks. We're making it work.
Rain kept us inside, but on previous visits to Boundary Breaks, we'd had the dog park to ourselves and enjoyed a glass of wine while the dogs ran around and we soaked in the views. Regardless of the rain, we enjoyed our glass of wine inside, and Ben made a new friend. A honeybee seemed to be attracted to his shirt. It was at this point that we had to decide if we wanted to go back to the camper or stop at another winery. We decided to stop at another winery, one of our favorites, Hector Wine Co., now Sawmill Creek Estates. They have amazing wines, a small market, and are inside-outside dog friendly.
It rained a lot while we were gone, but we got some wine. We're gonna see how the camper looks. Sunday, May 17th, I think. Sabres won 8-3 pretty handedly last night, forcing Game 7 against the Habs. That'll be on Monday. Go Sabres.
Our original plan this weekend was to go for a hike at Finger Lakes National Forest. Instead, we started each day walking the loops at the campground. We love seeing all the different styles of campers while walking. You can even catch glimpses of the lake from some of the loops.
Sugar's still exhausted from yesterday.
What?
So we're at Grist Iron Brew. We came here back in 2016, and this place it's grown a lot since then. When we came here, it was basically the main room, a couple of patio picnic tables, and that was about it. So we loved it then, and now they have a lodge that you can stay at. They have a massive dog park, and they even have a disc golf course. So we decided to come in, have a few more beers, but I love coming here now, and I'm very excited that it's grown as much as it has.
Inside and outside dog friendly.
Inside and outside dog friendly.
And they have really good food.
Cheers.
Cheers. Try to drink with this on.
We're maintaining our canning line, so fortunately it's a good reason to come back. Awesome. Thanks. What can I get for you?
So we had a successful day out, and we didn't do this much last night, so we are actually going to hunker down at the campsite, have a nice fire, and relax for the rest of the evening.
We got a fire started early tonight and just relaxed back at camp. We had a surprise visit by our friend Brian, who works in Ithaca. He stopped by on his way back from North Tonawanda, and we chatted for a while and had a beer before he headed back out. Ben and I settled in on our last night of the trip.
So when it comes to camping, very often people ask me why you guys love coming out to the Finger Lakes. And I always tell them it's because we love the wineries. We love the quaint neighborhoods. We love the lakes. We love the hiking. We love all these things. And I laugh because you can't help but see a look of confusion on people's faces when they look at me and they're like, we have that in Western New York. We, near Buffalo, we live on the Niagara Wine Trail. We live near Niagara on the lake. We have been to those places. We love those wineries. We love that experience. There are hiking trails everywhere near home, and of course, we live near the Great Lakes. So there's all the same stuff. So you do see that look of confusion on people's faces when they're like, "So why the Finger Lakes?" And I wish I could give you a clear answer, but it's generic, but there's just something about it. It's just far enough away from home that we feel like we've, you know, gotten away, but also there's some familiarity and we just love everything about it. So we've had 2 full days here. This is our third night, finally having a bonfire. And at this point, I would just want to ask, Molly, what was your favorite experience of the weekend?
So I'd have to say Friday night when we first got here. The whole weekend, has just begun. We decided to walk down to Seneca Lake Resorts to catch some live music. Kind of picnic styled it with a blanket and the dogs. They had a food truck. We sat, just far enough away that the music wasn't bothering the dogs or anything. It was just a really nice way to begin our wonderful weekend here. And we also got to see an awesome sunset, which I feel like we don't always get to see when we're out here. So I would have to say Friday for sure.
I still think I'm going to lean towards Saturday, which is hard to say because how much I enjoyed Friday. But Saturday night with stopping our night at Hector, we had spent the day wine tasting and going to breweries and just cruising through the countryside, which also here is just one of the best things, I'm going to pick Saturday night as my favorite night, but this is just our first trip of the year. We have so many more planned. We were pleasantly surprised. We had Brian got to stop by. Brian lives out near Ithaca, and he was driving home after the weekend where he went back to NT. And so we were happy that we got to meet up with him and chat for a little while. And we're hoping to see them on the next adventure. So obviously we'll see what happens next, but we had a blast here. On to the next one.
On to the next one.